Hello and welcome to BlytheRay Business News. For this edition, we're joined by Jason Brewer, who's the newly appointed Chief Executive of All Star Minerals. All Star Minerals listed on the Acquis Exchange with the ticker of ASMO. Jason's joining us from Nairobi today. Jason, welcome on the program. Welcome to BlytheRay Business News. Now, you're a new Chief Exec. You've just announced you signed heads of terms for two advanced battery metals projects. I have to ask you, hitherto, All Star Minerals has been associated with gemstones and diamonds. So before we get into the detail of the projects you've signed on, tell us about this change in direction. Is this your influence? What's the strategy?
Sure. Yes, I'd like to say it is my influence. The company has for the past 18 months been looking at gemstones projects, both projects here in Africa and then also lab-grown diamonds out of Eastern Europe. The lab-grown diamonds opportunity fell away with recent events in Russia and Ukraine. So that was something that the company couldn't pursue. And the gemstones here in Africa, whilst very attractive, it's a very difficult market to crack. And even with somebody of the nature and experience of Ian Hairbottle involved, it was decided that perhaps we should be focusing our attentions on other commodities and commodities which are becoming increasingly more important in today's society.
Okay, so a change of strategic direction, but let's now look at these two assets that you're looking to develop. And let's start with the Nkombwa asset, which is rare earths, phosphates, and tantalum in Zambia. What can you tell us about that?
This is a great opportunity for the company. It's a project which already has JORC compliant resources of rare earths, as you've mentioned, and also phosphate, two commodity groups that have gone through tremendous increasing in price and demand. Certainly even over this year, I think phosphate is up almost 80% over the past 4 months. So tremendous demand there. And we have the tantalum and niobium deposit there as well on this larger carbonatite deposit. So it offers us a number of opportunities. We will initially be focusing on the tantalum and niobium with a view of getting a small, call it trial mining operation in operation within the next 6 months. And at the same time, doing more systematic exploration on the phosphate and rare earths to see how quickly we can look to take that through to feasibility and make a development decision as well. So great location, great project, good mining jurisdiction as well, Zambia, something we're very excited about having.
Sounds like you're moving that one forward very quickly. Then let's look at the Blesberg lithium project in South Africa. Tell us about that one.
Yes, look, I've been to this project on a number of occasions. Was there late last year, walked it, saw the very large spodumene crystals. So it's a hard rock lithium project up there in the Northern Cape of South Africa, an area which is undergoing quite a resurgence in mine development, and is something which benefits from a great history of mining and great infrastructure. So this is one of the largest pegmatites in Southern Africa. And you've seen a lot of investment in pegmatites, in spodumene projects, lithium projects in Southern Africa. Recently, there's an ASX company called Prospect Resources who sold their Arcadia project to the Chinese and did very, very well for their shareholders. This is a project, again, which has been mined on a small scale for a number of decades for both its lithium, phosphars, tantalum as well. So it's something which provides a very immediate opportunity for us, a chance to get in. There's infrastructure there, 3 existing quarries, which we can actually get in. There's been drilling, the resource, which we will have to bring up to JORC standards, but something which I think our shareholders will see that we're not going to be a grassroots exploration company. It's an opportunity to take a project such as Blesberg and take it into production very quickly and benefit from the high commodity prices that exist in those areas.
Well, you mentioned the high commodity prices. I think we all in London, the investors, your investors are aware of how battery metals used to drive the electric vehicle revolution are such hot commodities right now. But let's talk about the macroeconomics, because you're there operating on the African continent. And it's this question of supply chains and security of supply chains. Jason, from where you sit, how important is that Western economies actually have control over the supply chain of these battery metals?
It's critical, and those recent events up there in Europe just demonstrate that. You need to have long-term strategic supplies of these commodities. If people are investing in refining, and let's look at it from a rare earths perspective, you've got a number of UK-listed rare earths companies building facilities in the UK to process and produce rare earth elements there, which are critical, as you say, for the green revolution. To do that, they need to secure projects. To the most, those projects are here in Africa. That's where you still have projects which have tremendous grade, tremendous size, and also still do benefit from strong logistics. So for companies looking to have that full vertical integration, you've heard Elon Musk talk about it this past week. Tesla looking at getting involved in potential lithium mining processing. It's becoming increasingly critical in this world to basically have the security of supply. Otherwise, people are exposed, and the prices that people are paying now for lithium compared to 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 1 month ago, you can imagine how that is impacting the long-term economics of these projects. So yes, it's a necessity, and it requires investors and producers of those electric vehicles and batteries to actually get involved at the project level, and increasingly so here in Africa.
Let's just turn to the rare earths, clearly very important for magnets. And also, if we can, a quick word on the phosphates, because both those two markets are going from strength to strength. They must be exciting you as well. You've got involved, but just give the viewers a quick sense of why rare earths and phosphates are going to be exciting in the coming months, if not years.
Look, I must admit, when we first got involved with Congo Hill and looked at that project, we were initially focused on the tantalum and niobium, and it was only really when I paid more attention to the phosphate and rare earths markets that I truly became aware of the opportunity there. So when you look at the phosphate, there's been a dynamic shift in the ability of suppliers and having independent suppliers. So that has had a material impact on production and on the ability of end users to secure supply. So you can imagine, and you've seen what's happened in price. Rare earths, where China dominates in terms of both mine production and refined production. And the Chinese have become increasingly more aggressive, both here in Africa, but also in Australia, looking to secure supply from that there. You've seen some tremendous projects go from strength to strength. In Uganda, there's a company listed on the ASX, Ionic Rare Earths. Tremendous performance over the years. And I believe that is something which is going to be heavily competed for by end users. So when I look at the markets, the demand is insatiable. Linus came out with record results, and they just can't produce enough. They just cannot produce enough. It is being taken no sooner does it get to the mine gate. So it's a tremendous market to be in, both rare earths and phosphates, and one which I think, with the pricing increasingly going north, investors should certainly have in their portfolio.
You've given a very good explanation of the two projects and this new direction for the company. Just give us a sense, finally, Jason, over the next few months, what kind of news should we be looking out for coming out of All Star Minerals?
Look, as you've seen, we're not going to be sitting on our hands. We're going to be out there. We're going to be securing project opportunities. We've secured 2 already within the first few weeks of me being on board. And one of our new directors, Mark Nally, who's very experienced here in Africa as a geologist. We will be acquiring additional interest in projects, no question about that. And we'll be moving very quickly on that. You'll see a lot of news on the development of these assets as we move them forward, from updating mine development studies, feasibility studies, and making those decisions to actually bring them into production. So investors will see a very active, very aggressive company, one that's very engaging with its investors, and one that's really, hopefully, gonna shine in 2022.
Thank you, Jason. That was Jason Brewer, Chief Executive of All Star Minerals, All-Star listed in London on the Acquis market with the ticker of ASMO. That's it for BlytheRay Business News for this edition. Thanks for watching.